The title of this video may catch your attention. You may like it, you may not, you may be pissed off, you may not. I don't know. I don't give a fuck. But I get a question a lot, other than my bad religion patch. Why do you wear a swastika patch? And if you actually look at my patch, I'll show you right here. It says very clearly Sid lives. And then you see the swastika, and if you look even closer, they're actually guitar necks bent in the shape of a swastika. Those who know a thing or two about punk rock, Sid Vicious will be the first thing that comes to mind when somebody says punk rock. Johnny Rotten, Iggy Pop, Sid Vicious. These names coincide with punk rock. Other bands such as Dead Kennedys, Black Flag, so on and so forth, whom also idolized the Sex Pistols, including Sid Vicious. Now, Sid Vicious is a different kind of vile. He is a different kind of breed of human being. He's incredible. He was brilliant. He was smarter than most people give him credit for. Now, as to why he wore the swastika is a very interesting story. And you can look online, you won't find it. But I can quote from, I believe it was the Hyde Park interview. Don't quote me on that. And he said, the interview asked him, why do you wear a swastika? To which he replied, the Nazis were defeated and so are we. That's plain and simple, and to the point of why I wear the swastika. Which brings me to today. Now, this was an interesting point that I believe a lot of you have heard about and read about. And it's a story about how the swastikas are being covered all over the place incorrectly. Trump swats is whatever. And if you really look at the definition of why had Sid worn the swastika t-shirt that he had, and it's classic. As a matter of fact, there was a woman who was with this guy, and there's a picture of him, and he's wearing the swastika t-shirt. He was dressed up as Sid. She was dressed up as Nancy, the cunt of a woman, not the woman with the Sid Vicious recreation, but the actual Nancy Spungen, a cunt. Nobody in the Pistols liked her. Anyways, I digress. The important thing to realize with that is when she came out and apologized, that was kind of a stab at Sid and at a lot of us people who appreciate punk rock. And as you can tell by my vest that I just shown you, my Dropkick Murphys hoodie, my Cheap Sex t-shirt, my Sid Vicious replica lock necklace, I am a huge fan of punk rock. And to apologize for something like that is ridiculous. The movie Sid and Nancy, where Gary Oldman played Sid, didn't have the testicular fortitude, didn't have the nutsack, the grapefruits, to use the swastika t-shirt. Instead, he used the hammer and sickle, which I thought is fucking stupid. You're taking something that somebody had worn, a part of them. It's almost synonymous when you say Sid Vicious. The first thing that comes to mind is the lock necklace and the swastika t-shirt. But they wouldn't have the gall to use it in the film. Even Johnny Rotten in his book, No Blacks, No Dogs, No Irish, even in that book, he stated that I don't agree with this film. I don't know why they made it. It was to basically promote and, approve of heroin use. Fucking ridiculous. And as much as I liked Gary Oldman, as did Johnny Rotten, he appreciated, Oldman doing his film with that. The ridiculousness comes from the fact that they did very little research. They didn't even talk to the band. They didn't talk about the people that were there. They didn't look at it from historical facts. It was literally just to glorify heroin use. I can't say I disagree. To why this connects to today. This is a very interesting point that was brought to me by several people and people on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at Swordfish, MT Swordfish. And they mentioned that the swastikas were being put all over the place, incorrectly, and they're saying the liberals will do it to make it look like the Republicans are doing it. Well, if you actually take a pencil right now, and you just quickly drew a swastika for the first time ever, it's going to come out like dog shit, much like Trump's running for presidency and our soon-to-be president-elect's lies that we'll get into here in a minute. All these different things have been seen by others that I am actually in close connections with, including my friend Graham. Shout out to my buddy Graham. He'll appreciate this. He was at a McDonald's and he saw a swastika etched into a McDonald's door. And we've actually seen a lot of white supremacy coming out in today's election. So, this would have happened no matter what. I'm just going to say that right now. Whatever white person would have won this on the alternate right, by the way, would have been igniting white supremacy. If you actually look at a lot of what conservatives have on their plate, it's anti-immigrant, it's anti-Obama, it's anti-everything. As a matter of fact, when Obama was president, there was a lot of, slurs going around, a lot of mean things said about our president, and that was to be completely accepted. But now Trump supporters, not necessarily voters, and we'll get into that a little bit. Trump supporters are the ones that are really hyping up the swastika, hyping up all the hate and whatnot. And if you actually go and look at supporters for Trump, there's a group of women, and it says "Make America White Again." One woman's wearing "Make White," so on and so forth. Fucking ridiculous, right? But that's the world that we live in. And when you look at who was defeated, Bernie Sanders was defeated by the Electoral College, and Hillary Clinton was defeated by the Electoral College. Just saying, it kind of looks like the Electoral College had won the election. It wasn't, so that shows me that even though 3 million people went out and voted for Hillary, and more people voted for Bernie than they did Hillary, that didn't matter, which tells me the Electoral College had selected Hillary Clinton knowing that she would lose to Trump. Am I the only one that pieced that together? I didn't think so. So Graham's findings in the McDonald's bathroom came from a lot of the Trump supporters, but even if it was Mitt Romney or any of these people, the white supremacists would have come out of the woodwork, I promise you. And if you look at all of his broken promises, you'd think that it would be more than just the Sanders supporters and the Clinton supporters. They'd be laughing at Trump because his supporters have been lied to. And you think that the people that were lied to would be upset by his broken promises. Jailing Hillary Clinton, draining the swamp, so on and so forth. These things that he has not done. Things that I was even hoping to see. I'm like, if Trump gets elected, I hope he arrests Hillary Clinton, puts her in jail, because that would be amazing to see a politician go to jail. It would be historic. And he came out on the night that he had won on his victory speech and said, she's been through enough. I don't want to put her through that. She's a good person. She put up a good fight, and I really appreciate that. And I'm like, no balls, no respect. At that moment, it lost my respect. And I lost respect for his supporters for continuing to support him. Had they turned around and batted at him, I would have given him, praises, but they didn't because he's white. So even if you take the swastika and adjusted it, let's get to that. It was originally from like the Hindus, the Buddhists, the people that were very peaceful, and people of like different beliefs, Wiccans, pagans, so on and so forth. And then Hitler took that and went with it. Cocked it to the side, gave it a different color, gave it a new name. How much does it take? How much effort? How much money does it take to change a symbol's meaning? Doesn't take much. If you actually look at the Grateful Dead bears, those have been put with bongs and bowls. If you look at the Russian bolts, which I'll get to in a minute, if you look at the KISS logo, you'll actually see that it's Russian bolts, kind of fucked up and different, but Walmart sells them, Myers sells them, Target, Kmart, all these different places sell these KISS t-shirts that if you look at the S's, they're just Russian bolts crunched down and twisted just a hair. Take a look. And bringing me to the Russian bolt story, buddy of mine used to have Russian bolts on his arm, and he said it's because I should not be oppressed for being white. It's not my fault that I was born white. I should not be hated for it. A couple of years later, I caught up with him, and he had it covered up. He had a red triangle on this arm and a green triangle on this arm, or yellow. I can't quite remember. But either way, the Russian bolts were covered up. And I asked him why he did that, and he says, because I grew up. Too bad the Trump supporters can't do that. But if all of this, you connect it back to what I was saying, the Nazis were defeated, and so are we. America's been defeated. That is why I wear the swastika that says Sid lives on it. Because Sid will always live in the back of my mind and in my heart, and his ideology stays with me forever.